Welcome to the Worst of the Riot bonus edition. You know, we still haven't come up with a name for this. We'll just call it Worst of the Riot Extra. It's our podcast exclusive episode. Thanks for joining us. Today, we were going to talk about, actually, we'll still talk about it, but Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, their parents were supposed to meet. The Swifts and the Kelces, a meeting of the families was supposed to take place at Monday Night Football. That was eschewed because Taylor Swift wasn't able to be at the game because she had to do a show in Brazil that was rescheduled. And so, do you agree with this, that it would have been awkward for her parents to meet Travis Kelce's parents without either of them actually being present for that meeting?
That sounds like the worst way that they could meet. That sounds terrible. Can you imagine? Like, you're not there to be in the middle of it.
To be a buffer?
Yeah, and your parents are meeting his parents. I mean, it just doesn't sound ideal to me.
It's not like it would spell doom for the relationship.
But it would just be an awkward, I mean, they're stuck there with them the whole game.
It would just make it tough for your parents.
Yeah, you got to arrive there at like...
Their parents.
The game started last night like 8:20 Eastern. They got to get there at like 7 and be there till midnight. I mean, that's a long time.
I guess the positive is you could like have the same rooting interests and that would kind of break the ice a little bit. But
then you're on that same page of like Travis Kelce's mom last night wasn't rooting for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
She was rooting for both teams.
Well, apparently Taylor Swift's dad is in the same boat, also an Eagles fan.
Oh.
So, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, that would be, I mean, I can think of much more awkward places. In fact, I will share some with you coming up later on in the podcast. But I did want to ask you a question. I asked this to Nikki on the show recently when you were out sick. And that is, what do you call a significant other's parents if you're talking to them?
You just call them by their name, probably?
So your girlfriend's dad is named Phil. You're just like, hey, Phil, how you doing? Hey, give me a drink while you're in there. Phil.
Yeah, probably.
Up. That's what you would do, huh?
I would do that if she was my girlfriend and I'm not going to call him Mr. whatever.
Upon meeting?
Yeah, upon meeting, I would say Mr. Insert last name.
First time. And then he'll be like, call me Phil.
And then once we start talking more, I meet him like for the 5th or 6th time.
Yeah.
I'm going to call him by his first name.
In practice, have you ever done that?
Yes.
I don't think I've ever done that.
Be quiet.
Nikki and I both agreed. No, we agreed that
you call Angela's dad Mr. whatever.
I don't call him Mr. something. I said to Nikki, that seems very high school.
Yeah.
But once you're out of high school, maybe college, maybe now that you're coming back for the holidays, you're meeting somebody for the first time, you're coming back from college, maybe you call him Mr. or Mrs. whoever. But once you're an adult, we're all adults here. So I wouldn't call him Mr. last name. But no, Nikki and I kind of agreed that we just avoid it altogether.
Oh, you just don't say anything.
We just don't address. You just like, you wouldn't say, hey, Phil, can I ask you something? You would just say, can I ask you something? That's just what that's
so
how
you
you
just don't even say.
You don't address them. But
that seems kind of disrespectful.
Besides on the show here, which I don't know why I do it, but I address you as Isaiah often. But normally in life, I don't address people by their names at all. I just think they know who I'm talking to. If I'm looking at you making eye contact, I don't need to say, hey, Gretchen, can you pass me whatever? I just say, pass me whatever. You know?
I feel like it also depends on the delivery of how you're doing it. Like if you were in her house, it's the first time you've ever met this guy, her dad, and you like call, if you're calling for him, I would never call for him.
Yeah. Hey, Phil, like, come in here.
Well, I would do that.
You would?
I would not say Mr.
Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Jones.
Yeah.
I would never do that. That makes you look like a fool.
Well, here's the question, and I know some people that do this. I might be related to some people that do this, that will call the significant other's parents. I think this probably comes after marriage. Wait for this.
No.
Mom and dad.
That's weird.
I'm not with that at all.
I'm not with that whatsoever.
Yeah.
You're telling me that people in your family do this?
Uh-huh.
That's wild.
Yep.
I would never do that.
I hope they don't feel my judgment too harshly, but I think it's think that's wild.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Mom and dad? It had to be a unique situation for you to do that.
What if you lived with them?
If you live with them and like maybe you like don't have a great relationship with your parents, maybe then you call them mom and dad.
Okay.
So let me ask you this, though. Right? So let's say Angela's dad.
Yeah.
You're calling him Mr. Whatever, right? Mr. Jones, Mr. Whatever.
Yeah.
Like Mr. Jones, he's like, you know what, Hudson? Just call me dad from here on out. What do you do?
Who initiates it?
What do you do?
That would be off the rails behavior.
You just call me dad from here on out. Then you have to call him dad.
You do. Or you're disrespectful.
That would be the worst. Oh my gosh. And then
that'd be the last time I ever saw him.
He said, just call me dad.
Yeah.
And then you have to start calling him dad. And then your friends are around. For whatever reason, they're around Angel's dad. And they see you call him dad.
Ooh.
And I would immediately be like, if I saw you do that, I would be like, Hudson, what in the world?
What happened to you? But it's odd because it could be like it feels right now where it feels like a power move. But it also could be like really, truly like, hey, listen, I think he could put his hand on your shoulder and be like,
you're like a son to me.
Yeah, exactly. Like it could be real sweet, but it'd still be awkward to me. Some people might embrace that, not me.
You're like a son to me. He's married to my daughter.
That's weird because I don't feel like a son to you at all. You don't feel like my dad?
Call me father.
Yeah, call me daddy.
Yeah, there's no chance.
It might be more likely with like a mother-in-law to call her mom. I can feel like, because it's kind of cute. But no, I do everything I can to just avoid saying names of people in general.
Yeah,
I might give them a nickname. I give them a nickname before I'd call them by their name or their,
I would say their first name if I've been around for like a couple months, even. If I've kind of set my tone that I'm here now, I would call them by their first name.
What if we rewind the tape though, going back to like the dad thing? Like obviously it'd be awkward for your father-in-law to say, hey, call me dad.
Call me dad.
But the flip side would be if you initiated that.
If you
called him dad unexpectedly. And
hey, dad.
Yeah. That could be real weird too. He might force you to divorce.
Can you imagine? So let's say this now. Ready? Your daughter. Let's say you have a kid one day. She's got a boyfriend, and he just calls you dad one day. What in the world do you do? Do you say something? Because you're in charge.
Yeah.
You can be whoever you want to be. You could just lay it down right there and be like, "We're not doing that."
I don't know why I picture this being like some like just pipsqueak kind of a guy. Like it depends. I don't know. I guess I could see like it's a big football player type of guy. It's like, okay, he's calling me dad. He must like me. And it's like some little wimp.
Oh, so you're doing it based off that.
A pretty boy, then I'm like, well, he clearly needs a father figure. I don't know. I don't know what I do. I don't think, I guess it's hard for me to imagine, but I'm not a big tough guy. So I can imagine some big tough guy dads and be like, what did you say? But like for me,
call me?
Yeah, what'd you call me? You get that name out of your mouth. But for me, I wouldn't be able to do that. I'd probably, either way, I think it was coming from a good place. I guess I'd assume the best.
I would have to, because if I would have to right then do it in like a joking way, maybe. Mm-hmm. We're not doing that. Yeah. You little jokester.
Whoa there. Whoa, yeah.
Hey, easy now.
Yeah.
I'm not your daddy.
Don't know you that well. Well, I get, would also be weird too if he started calling you that before like they were married, because then that's going to think about if they have to break up.
Oh, man.
And he was calling you dad. Ugh.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And then when they're married, like he's an adult.
Yeah.
I don't even call him, this is crazy. I don't even really call my parents mom and dad. I call them by their first names. It's probably about a 60-40 split to where I call my mom and dad versus their first names. I say their first names a lot.
Yeah, I think I do lean towards often not calling my parents by their names either. I don't even, not like, I don't call them mom and dad all the time. I don't call them that none of the time either. Yeah. But I also don't, like my dad's name is Henry. I don't even call him Henry. I call him Hank.
Oh, Hank.
Yeah. And my mom's Kim. I definitely never say Kim.
See, I say Connie a lot, but the reason I do that is because
it's a good name.
No, because I worked at their toy store for a long
Feels
time.
professional.
And so when I was working, if my mom was there, I wouldn't be like, "Hey, mom," in the middle of the toy store. That's weird.
Yeah.
And so all the workers are like, not even like the workers, but the customers are like, "Oh, it's just an odd thing." And so I'd always just call her Connie whenever I worked with her.
Mm-hmm.
And so then, now I say it all the time. And so if my girlfriend was calling my mom, and I'm calling her Connie,
you're not even calling her mom,
or she's calling my dad,
yeah,
and I'm calling him Todd, then that's even weirder.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy how just all this can be, just what you call somebody is so awkward.
But I think also if you are the significant other, you can just nip that in the bud early on.
Yeah, you say, listen, don't call my dad.
Do not do that.
He is not your dad.
If I heard her say that one time, I'd say
clear.
no.
Yeah.
Right when she said it, I'd be like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What's going on over there?
But again, I can picture a relationship where like we're, our girlfriend and we call the dad, and they think that's so sweet. Or imagine this, your girlfriend or wife comes to you. Yeah. You're like, hey, you mind calling my dad?
Oh my gosh, no.
Yeah. And how do you?
I would say no.
How?
I would say I do not feel comfortable doing that. I'm gonna be dead honest with you. That sounds like a wild request.
Yeah.
I can't be doing
Did
that.
he tell you to say this?
Yeah. Where's this coming from?
Right. Is this your idea?
Why would you want me to do that?
Your mom's. Is this a prank?
You joking with me?
Why don't you even bring this up?
Because if she knows me, she knows that I would never do that.
That's true.
She's my girlfriend.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm going to date a girl that actually thinks I would do that. That's wild.
Yeah.
Request.
Mm-hmm.
But there's somebody listening right now that's like, I gotta stop calling my husband's dad.
Hudson and Isaiah would never approve of this.
But you know what? Your situation might be different.
It can be different.
I'm just saying mine.
My sibling, my in-laws, brother or sister-in-law, whatever, their situation's different.
They're just swinging around mom and dad all the time.
That's right. They just throw it out there. How do you feel around other people's parents?
You're saying like, how do I feel around whose parents?
Oh, just, like
your mom and dad?
Yeah, have you met my mom and dad or like significant other's parents? Just like when you have a relationship with them, but you don't have a relationship with their parents.
Yeah. See,
you think you excel?
I think that I overly want to talk because I want it to be known that I'm an outgoing person and I want my personality to shine through. And I'm not saying that I attack the conversation.
Yeah.
But when I'm not talking, I'm sitting there ready to say something.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there, I'm like, where can I insert myself in the conversation to make them know that I'm trying to get to know them, but I'm not striking. I don't have a stranglehold on the convo, but I'm constantly in my mind, I haven't said something in 3 minutes. Yeah. I need them to know that I am engaged.
Oh, that's weird because I'm completely the opposite.
Oh, so you're just silent, huh?
I like to blend in. If the conversation turns to me, if you brought your parents in here and your dad was asking me, I guess it'd be weird if he was asking me about work, but how's the family? Something else. I would answer, but I wouldn't be asking your dad personal questions. I would be like, how's the toy store? Actually, that probably is the only thing I would ask is how's the toy store?
See, if you were in here talking to your dad, and let's say the three of us were sitting here.
Yeah.
And you guys were talking about some street or somewhere. In my mind, I would be thinking the whole time, have I been on that street recently?
Yeah.
Is there a store on that street I can talk about?
Oh, yeah. I'd say I would never do that.
And then I would insert something.
I would make a point not to insert myself into you and your dad's conversation for sure.
Oh, I would insert something. If I'm a part of the conversation, if it's the three of us sitting here chatting, if I'm just peering off from a distance, I'm not going to jump over and be like, I also have been there.
Yeah.
But if I'm in the conversation, I'm thinking the whole time, how can I say something?
No, I'd pretend to be busy so that I wouldn't have to involve myself just because I would feel awkward. We are way different in that regard.
Completely. Yeah. I am just trying to impress.
All right. I've got some scenarios here of where parents, let's say you're dating somebody and this is the situation where your parents would meet. I think these are realistic.
You're talking about her parents and my parents are meeting?
Yeah.
This is the worst.
Someone you're dating and the two sets of parents are meeting.
Let me ask you this. Do you think it's more awkward when the parents meet or when you meet the parents the first time?
the parents meet for sure. Because they don't really have any reason to.
Yep.
You know? Like, could you go an entire relationship outside of the wedding, start dating to your death with the parents not meeting besides maybe the wedding?
You could.
You totally could, right? And who would be worse off for that? Nobody. But it eventually usually tends to happen. So here's some awkward options for you. What if your parents and your significant other's parents met for the first time at a bank? And by that, I mean, like maybe you need a loan or something and they have to be there.
And her parents are also just so happen to be there when we walk in?
You guys need a loan together.
It's a coincidence or they're all there?
You all have to be there for something.
It's terrible then. Terrible place.
That'd be
That's
weird.
where they're meeting? Sounds like we're doing this too late.
Yeah, I guess so. But there's got to be couples where that's happened, right?
Where they've met for the first time at the bank?
Yeah.
Sounds like a kickstart off to a bad meetup.
Yeah. What about this one? Wait, you didn't rate it.
That's like a 4.
4 out of 10?
Yeah.
Hospital.
Oh, that's like a 2. That's a 2. That means something bad's happened.
So it's not awkward. Because everyone's just concerned.
You're right.
But I'm saying
it is an easy place to meet because you're not worried about like the casualties of like formalities. Let me shake your hand real quick.
Right.
You're just like, what happened to Susie?
Yeah.
You know?
But I bet you there's a lot of parents where their children are in relationships where that would be the first place they meet.
They all meet
because
at the
of course,
hospital.
what if you get in a car wreck or something, and the parents show up like that? That feels realistic. So I guess not that awkward though.
No, because
it depends.
You don't have to worry about it.
It depends why you're in the hospital.
I think it's all about the amount of talking that they have to do to each other.
Yeah.
Because in that situation,
without you possibly being able to,
it's not like they're not the freelance or they're not like freestyling either. It's all logical talking. Like, how hurt is he? What's the next step? Like, it's all very like logical. Where it's not like you're like, how was your day? Where do you work? That's not coming up.
Not going to be a lot of small talk.
No.
Unnecessary small talk. Okay, this one kind of along the line, similar. Courtroom.
Terrible.
That's bad, right?
In what scenario would they meet that sounds like a restraining order.
Well, it could be for many different reasons.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, there's a lot of laws you could break.
Well, yeah, but there could be a situation where you and your significant other are both suing somebody else.
So yet again, this sounds like they're meeting too late.
Too late, huh?
Too late. Terrible place to meet. I'm rating that like a 3.
So I would think that seems like that should be higher. Like that's a very high on the awkward scale.
That's very high, yeah.
Yeah, 3 is a very high.
No, I'm saying that's the worst. I'm saying 10 out of 10.
Okay, got it.
10 out of 10 for me is that's the best possible situation.
And you gave the hospital a 2.
I gave the hospital, well, that was my first initial because I assumed something was wrong. I would have bumped it up after. I think that's probably like a 6.
All right, I was unclear. I thought 10 would be the worst. So
no.
Bank is
4.
Bank is 4. Hospital
6.
Courtroom
3.
All right, this is a weird one. Chuck E. Cheese.
That's like maybe like an 8.
That's pretty ideal.
I think 8 or 8.5.
If you're planning a place for parents to meet,
there's plenty of things
to distract.
You can meet and then you can go play a game and then you come back over. Lots of things.
Pizza.
Lots of things to talk about.
I guess so. Yeah. Look at whoever really killing it on the ticket machine. I don't know.
You guys play whack-a-mole yet?
Yeah.
No. All right. It's good. 8.5.
You think it
real natural.
It depends on why you're at Chuck E. Cheese, but I think it seems like you two have a child together.
Oh, I was thinking.
So like they're there for the grandchild, but they for some reason haven't met yet.
That's why. That's not where I went with that.
Where did you go?
I was going. Maybe you guys are maybe 14 and 15 years old. You just started dating.
Yeah. And you still go to Chuck E. Cheese.
You guys are in 8th grade, maybe.
Maybe Dave and Buster's a little more your speed.
And both parents drove you guys there.
Yeah.
You all met there. That's what happens. A first date almost.
Yeah. In high school, your parents are much more likely to meet, I guess, because they're driving you, or even like middle school if you're really young. Dating.
And you live in the same town too.
Mm-hmm.
Once you graduate from college, like you might live somewhere completely different from your family.
Yeah. My parents lived across the country from each other, so they hardly ever saw each other. Here's the last one I thought of. What about like a water park? Typhoon Lagoon or something?
That's tough. I'm going to give that one like a 7.
7?
I don't
like
think it's
closer to
terrible.
ideal. Slightly better than a hospital.
Yeah.
See, I was thinking that'd be weird because like if you're at a water park, your parents are all going to be in like their swimsuits. That's a weird way to meet somebody.
That's awkward.
That's a weird way, especially because you're thinking it's your parents. They're older, but maybe they're more comfortable with it.
Then I think about like, does my dad care?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't care what he looks like.
You don't think your dad would try to like be concerned about putting on a good first impression if he was meeting your girlfriend's parents and they were going to see him shirtless?
He would be worried about like making a good impression, but I don't think that he cares when people are looking at him.
It's a 7.
My dad's like 62 years old.
7 out of 10.
I think it's a 7 because I think yet again there's a lot of things to do.
Yeah.
Like I'm going down the slide. I'm in the wave pool. How much are you really talking when you're in the wave pool? You know, you're just trying to hold on.
The lazy river. They're just hanging out.
It's real natural.
Mm-hmm. All right. So the worst case scenario for parents to meet would be courtroom.
Yeah, I think that's a terrible place.
That's
to
a
meet.
bad one. So when should the parents meet?
That's a good question.
How far along? We already covered that they very well don't have to.
I think the older you get, the later it can be. The younger you are, the more, and it's just going to happen naturally. If you're like 16 years old, your parents are going to meet each other at a sporting event,
at
a band concert, at the local Kroger. Like it's just going to happen naturally. Whereas like as you get older, you're like 28, 30 years old. They might not meet for a while. If they don't live close to each other. Also, if you're not so sure how long this is going to last. At this point, you're 30 years old. You're like, I've dated a lot in my life. I'm going to just go take this one a little slower. So I think it's...
Yeah, because parents meeting is a big step once you get out of high school.
Yeah.
That means you're pretty serious.
And so in my mind, I'm like, I don't know if there is like a certain time you have to meet up, but I would say it doesn't have to happen. It doesn't have to happen even in the first year of dating.
I thought of one more place that could be, maybe this is the ideal. This could be the best place for parents to meet at a concert. They don't have to talk much. They can shake hands, whatever, but not a lot of talking going on. Now you know what they look like. You've seen them in person. And it's over.
Do you want to be friends though? Would people want that? I don't know. I've never had a girlfriend where my parents and her parents are friends.
Yeah, likewise. I've had like my parents get along to varying degrees. I haven't had any problems with any of my significant other's parents. But
on an open Friday night, they weren't just like hanging out.
No, that would never happen. But they would like probably talk more or be more likely to run into each other and exchange a chat. But I don't think it I don't know. I don't know if that makes it better or worse if you break up.
True.
Depends if you want to get the person back.
Yeah.
Because your mom could call up her mom and be like, hey, talk some sense into her.
You know how many people that are paired up right now are because they were like family friends starting out, or they're just always around each other and their parents are really close. And so I think about there's like pros and cons to that.
Yeah. Oh, there's some people right now.
It's like one big happy family.
Yeah, they're probably going to do the holidays, like maybe they vacation together, and they do that all the time. And they listen to this, and we're talking about how our parents rarely interact with our significant other's parents throughout our dating relationships. And other people are like, that's crazy. Like, our parents do everything.
They go to vacation. They vacation together. That's true. There are pros to that. I know some of my friends who their families like vacation together. They do New Year's Eve together. They do all these holidays together. But it sounds like fun. I never really had that, but it sounds like fun.
Yeah.
I'd rather have that than them like hate each other. Yeah. That's like the worst case scenario. How is that even possible?
Yeah.
Like, that's my question is, how is it even possible that your parents and her parents hate each other? Like, that relationship has to be toxic.
It has to be because they each individually like their child, but they hate the other child.
The other kid, yeah.
So not only do they hate the other child, they hate the parents. I think it almost always would stem from that, right?
It has to. And that just sounds like a toxic relationship for sure.
Yeah, that's trouble.
Some of my friends had that too, where their parents did not like each other, which I think, yet again, from afar, is hilarious. Because their parents will be so petty, it's crazy. Like grown adults being super petty, which is hilarious yet again. And my friends, my buddies, are telling me what's going on in their relationship, not just with their girlfriend, but also with their parents.
Yeah.
And the whole relationship. And it just never ceases to amaze me what they'll do.
I think what I've learned here, to sum this all up, what I take away from this is that you're probably better off if you're in a relationship having the parents meet as little as possible. Because yes, them being friends isn't necessarily a negative. If they meet and hit it off and whatever, or if they're already prior friends because they already know each other and that's how you know the person you're dating, whatever, that's all good. But if they don't know each other, there's less that can go wrong. If they don't know each other, there's no pressure to invite somebody to something or whatever. They're never going to get into any conflicts. And so I think it's better. I think you're better off if your parents and the person you're dating's parents haven't met or don't hang out much, keep it that way.
I'm torn because I think that it could be really fun though.
It could be fun, but what's the risk reward, you know?
Yeah, but like I think about my parents. I think it's also you got to know your parents. My parents aren't haters.
Yeah.
My parents don't hate nobody.
No, neither are mine.
So I'm like, what are the odds that my girlfriend, her parents, like my parents hate? That would have to be, they would have to really suck. Like my girlfriend's parents would have to really be like the worst because my parents don't hate anybody. And so I would trust them to be friends with whoever.
Yeah. Oh, one other thing. Think about this though. Let's say like the parents meet and it's not like they actively like argue or whatever. Like they don't want to be around each other, but like you interact with both, you would interact with your, in-laws or whatever. And you interact with your parents, obviously. And then you're getting it from both sides, like maybe trash talk from each other. Or it's just like, can you believe, Connie, you hear from your girlfriend's parents, like, I can't believe your mom, she says, her parents say that to your girlfriend, and then she relays that to you. Who wants to be in the middle of that?
Sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot to me.
You can avoid it all
by not having a girlfriend.
It's the Worst of the RIOT podcast.